Hey, what's up? It's Tony from Street Church, and welcome to the Inside Job Podcast. Hey, week one of a new 3-week series. Super stoked about this series. It's called Meeting People Where They Are and Not Where They Should Be. And the reason why that's super important is this. If you call yourself a Christian, you know that where you should have been is not the place where God met you, right? Years ago, 2005, I think, I was in Trenton one morning, and I used to go out, and I used to have a group of people, that came with me on Sunday mornings, and we would go out and sort of meet people where they were. And there was a group of men who were living in the woods inside of a bunch of tents, alcoholics and drug addicts, and so we go out there, and I have a bag full of food, and I think I probably had some socks and underwear. I'm not sure. It was so long ago. And I meet this, elderly guy. He was in his 60s. He had a long beard, alcoholism, and he was sleeping in a tent for years at this point. So, I introduce myself. I say, hey, how you doing? I'm Tony. I found out that his name was Al. So, I tried to build a connection. I gave him a sandwich. Hey, I'm Tony. How you doing? Nothing. So I went out the following week. Hey, Al, how you doing? I just wanted, to see if you were hungry. I gave him another sandwich. Nothing. So this happened for maybe 5 or 6 weeks. I would go out and attempt to build a relationship with him, and I went away with crickets. And then one week I went there and I said, hey, Al, how you doing? Here's a sandwich. And I began to walk away, and all of a sudden I heard a voice. And my head lifted up. I thought it was Jesus himself. And and this is what the voice said. It said, hey, Tone, you know what I like about you? You really know how to hunker down. And it was Al, of course, right? And basically, that's what we do here at Street Church, is that we find people where they are, and we meet people where they are and not where they should be. And we just hunker down in the messes of their lives and try to care for them and try to help them and try to love them, in the context of that mess, right? We don't wait until they get their act together. We don't wait until they make a move. We make a move first, because we are convinced, I am convinced at least, and I think, everybody in this ministry is convinced of this, that God does not love the more improved version of us. He's not waiting for the new and improved version of us to arrive, right? He just wants us in the totality of our humanness, of our brokenness, of our frailty, insecurities, failures and flaws, our victories, our talents and strengths, the whole 9 yards, right? And I think I need to remind myself of that, because it's so easy to just, we are transactional, right? We treat people well if they treat us well. If they do something for us, we'll do something for them. We normally wait until they get their act together before we go the extra mile for them. And the truth is, God meets us where we are and not where we should be. None of us, if we call ourselves Christians, right? None of us were where we should have been when God met us, right? So my 3 favorite words in the scriptures, it may sound crazy to you, but these are my 3 favorite words. They're found in Genesis chapter 3, right? When, Adam and Eve fall and they sin and they realize that they're naked and they get ashamed and embarrassed, and then they hear God come into the garden and they get afraid and they hide behind a tree. And what do we hear God say? He says my 3 favorite words. He says, where are you? Where are you? And the reason why that's so significant and so important is this, because God don't need to know stuff. God don't need to know stuff, right? So what message was he trying to get across in saying, where are you? This is it, right? He was laying down the gauntlet. He was making it known that in your rebellion, I will look for you and I will find you where you are and not where you should be. And that's what the example that we see all the way back in Genesis chapter 3. And that's the example that we have to follow in terms of how we care for people, right? It's very, very important because, the truth is this. In our ministry, we see people who have burned a lot of bridges and their lives are injured and they're damaged from a myriad of different things, right? And they're hurting themselves. And then we see other people who are intentionally trying to hustle and trying to hurt other people to gain an advantage, right? Like, there's a lot of sharks out there. And they're trying to use people and hustle people, and they don't care what happens as long as they are the beneficiaries, right? And it's tough to meet those people in those places and to care for them and to love them, unconditionally. It's difficult because they're not where they should be. But, I always got to go back to Genesis chapter 3. I always have to realize that God has said the same thing to me and to anybody else who is listening to me right now that he said to Adam and Eve. Where are you? He finds us where we are and not where we should be. Remember that. So in week 2 and 3, we're going to look at a couple examples of people who God found where they were and not where they should have been, and how it impacted their lives and how it changed the course of human history. So, one for the road. God's not waiting for the new and improved version of you. He's just waiting for you. So remember, until next time, count each day a new life. Amen? I'll see you next time.